a plea deal, pleading guilty to aggravated manslaughter. Then, on September 12th, he was sentenced to 14 to 17 years in prison. Prosecutors felt that a plea agreement was their best bet, as Justin's age, his medical diagnoses, and the fact that no forensic evidence existed to prove which brother was the true killer. At Justin's sentencing, Autumn's grandmother, who had taught him at Clayton Middle School, gave a statement describing how she was forced to abandon her career and livelihood. The trauma of having taught her granddaughter's murderer rendered her no longer capable of trusting students or of forming the bonds necessary to make her a successful educator. She described being in therapy and on medication at that point, as were several other members of their family. One of Autumn's cousins had to be hospitalized as a result of the stress. The sight of blue recycle bins became a trigger. Justin's mother spoke, saying, quote, "Justin did the best he could to adjust to those around him living in light of his disability, learning disability. He was determined to be independent. He got a job cutting grass with a friend whose family owned a landscaping business. He also cut our next-door neighbor's lawn, who happened to be his math teacher." I believe that even though he's a special education student, Justin was not given the type and amount of help that he needed. We are saddened for her family as well as our son. He is filled with remorse. In regards to the landscaping job, the friend who hired him told a reporter that he fired him on his first and only day of work, citing laziness as the cause of his quick termination. His public defender told the judge that, quote, "there was a significant history of domestic violence in his household when he was young. Justin also suffered abuse, physical abuse, at the hands of his father. This was learned behavior. Your Honor, Justin saw his father strangle his mother on more than one occasion. Justin has inappropriate responses as a result of his disabilities." On his own behalf, Justin said at his hearing, "I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen. This was all a big mistake." And that was all he said about it for about 5.5 years, other than when he had pleaded guilty the month before, saying that he alone lured Autumn to his house, ultimately murdering her there. The acceptance of Justin's admission affected his brother Dante's case too, and when he went to court just a few weeks later, he was able to plead guilty to 4th-degree obstruction of justice. Dante was sentenced to 6 months in jail and was released that day with time served. Police and prosecutors said he hid the fact that Autumn's bike was in the basement, though he always maintained that he didn't even know it was there or what had happened. His attorney said at the time, quote, "Dante Robinson was released from custody today. He admitted no crime. This confirms what we always knew. Dante did not hurt the decedent and was not involved in her death or the moving of her body. People may not want to believe it, but the truth prevailed today and Dante is home." With another year comes another long list of cases to investigate. And since the news never stops, there's always new information coming in and new stories to research and write about. Before I know it, my brain is so scrambled. Not only are the cases I look at dark and violent, but so is everyday news and current events. In times like ours, amongst the daily stresses of life, it's important to have an outlet, especially one that requires only as much effort as you want to give. And for me, that's best FIENDS, the widely popular, universally beloved puzzle game with over 100 million downloads. There are so many fun ways to play, and new levels, events, and challenges are added all the time. With all this cuteness in one app, it isn't hard to find a minute in my day to jump in and relax my mind without straining my nerves. With tons of 5-star reviews, you'll wonder how you ever found the time to be bored before. Download Best FIENDS free today on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best FIENDS. The family of Autumn Pasquale felt they'd been dealt a triple blow. First, her brutal murder, and now 2 lenient sentences for the teens they felt were her killers. Prior to trial preparation for Justin's case, the Gloucester County Prosecutor's Office had received a tort claim notice notifying them that Autumn's estate had possible intent to sue. The Attorney General's office ended up transferring the case to the Camden County Prosecutor's Office, and they took over the responsibility of facilitating the boys' prosecutions, leading to Justin's plea deal and Dante's release from juvenile custody. And the estate did file suit in October of 2014 against 3 specific Clayton police officers, the Gloucester County Prosecutor's Office, New Jersey State Police, and 6 local law enforcement agencies in all, alleging that the investigating entities failed to utilize, quote, adequate law enforcement techniques, and had they, Autumn could have been located alive. However, police and prosecutors pointed out in their defense that 7 hours elapsed between Autumn's last outgoing communications and the time she was reported missing, and the autopsy results firmly placed her time of death around 3:30 p.m. Gloucester County Prosecutor Sean Dalton told the media that, quote, we couldn't prevent the death of Autumn Pasquale because she was killed approximately 6 hours before she was ever reported missing. The suit was dismissed in 2016. Autumn's father also filed a civil suit against Justin Robinson's parents, citing negligence in supervising their child. Critics pointed out that he himself didn't have contact with his 12-year-old daughter that day for at least 7 hours, and that the fact that Justin's mother was reportedly an integral tipster proves she was a conscientious parent. That lawsuit was also dismissed. This case was not the last time that the home on Clayton Avenue or Dante Robinson were in the news. In September of 2017, the house was raided after a drug-related search warrant was issued on the property. Justin and Dante's older brother Michael was arrested on drug charges. A few months before that, and less than 4 years after his release from juvenile custody, Dante Robinson found himself in jail again. On May 21, 2017, just after midnight, 911 calls started coming in, detailing a chaotic scene on a residential street in Sicklerville, New Jersey. It's reported that Dante, then 21 years old, accompanied by 2 18-year-olds and 2 juveniles, broke into a home wearing masks and with a fake assault rifle. They assaulted, terrorized, and attempted to rob the occupants, which included children and a person with disabilities. The homeowner ultimately shot Dante in the back, and he and his accomplices scattered into the night. Although the teens he was with were not apprehended for weeks, Dante was immediately arrested and taken into custody after he was treated and released from the hospital. In June of 2017, Carly Romolino interviewed the Robinson boys' mother, who contended that her son Dante had been, quote, duped into taking some individuals he didn't really know to a supposed party. She called Dante a little, quote, on the naive side. However, no one involved in the prosecution agreed, and in October of 2019, Dante was found guilty of armed robbery, conspiracy to commit burglary, theft, endangering the welfare of a child, and weapons charges. When he was sentenced on October 23, 2020, Dante Robinson, now 25 years old, received 35 years in prison, over twice the amount of time his brother Justin received for murdering Autumn Pasquale. Dante is currently housed at New Jersey State Prison in Trenton, New Jersey, with a maximum release date of November 11, 2040. Justin Robinson will be 24 this year and is completing his 17-year sentence at Garden State Youth Correctional Facility in Crosswicks, New Jersey, with a maximum release date of April 4, 2027. In the 2018 interview, Justin stated, quote, "I'm deeply sorry. I didn't really want this to happen." By this time, he had ceased any court-ordered psychological treatment he was to receive in prison, saying, quote, "I didn't need it anymore. I got deep in my religion. It opened my eyes a lot. It brings me peace." In regards to Autumn's murder, Justin went on to say, "If I could take it back, I would. I didn't kill her for no bike. A lot of people thought I planned it. There was nothing planned about this. There was never no intention to lure her or kill her for her bike. No traps, nothing. It was an honest mistake. I hope they can just forgive me. It's hard to forgive a person when they take one of your loved one's life. I want them to know I'm really sorry."